Hello and a big welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is Friday Practice 1 ahead of the 2023 Miami Grand Prix. The audio might be a bit echoey, just let me know if it is. Yeah, always got some technical issues going on here. That intro was so laggy, wasn't it? I've got ambition, but the laptop ain't got the same ambition. I'm trying to do intros, but the laptop is like, I can't do it, mate. Chill out, mate. But yeah, the intro was at like 1 frame a minute, but we're on. We're live. Hopefully the live timing works anyway. But yeah, welcome in. Miami Grand Prix, round 5. And this is the big one, really. This is the one they all want. They all want this to be the big one. It's not the big one. It's not the big one. But Formula 1 wants it to be the big race. Hopefully it's a more memorable race this time round, this season. Because last season, I think the most memorable thing was a crash between Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly. I think the Mercedes battled for like 3rd or 4th at one point. It wasn't a fantastic race, was it? But yeah, hopefully it's much better this time round. I see they've moved the paddock into the stadium. Obviously the track runs around the Miami Dolphins stadium, and yeah, they put the paddock in there, which they're all red hot because there's no wind. There's not a breath of wind in there, mate. So it's they're getting sunburned down there on the actual pitch itself, all the paddock and everything, which is a first. And they put a couple of swimming pools in the infield section because there was that much of a piss take about there being fake water. There's still a fake harbour, which is just stupid. What are they doing, like importing yachts in and just sticking them on some blue concrete? That is ridiculous. That's US to a T. They need to get rid of that, mate. That's just corny. You can't just plonk boats on some concrete in the middle of the track, in the infield section of the circuit, and paint the concrete blue and go, it's a harbour. No, it's not a harbour. It's tragic. But yeah, they're trying. They're definitely trying with this race. They're definitely trying. Let me know if the audio's echoey, by the way. Here's the intro. Let's go. We've done my intro. This is the actual intro. But yeah, my hopes for this weekend are another Sergio Perez win. I actually think Perez is our only hope this season now. You know, unless you're a Verstappen fan and you're willing to sit here all season and watch him win 19 out of 23 races. If you're a Max Verstappen fan, fill your boots. You're going to watch him win 18, 19 races a season. If you're not a Verstappen fan, we need to all be Perez fans. There's no... There's no middle ground. Listen, Aston have had a good start to the season. I nearly had a heart attack when Alonso led into turn 1 in Saudi Arabia. Mate, they'll have a good season. Alonso will get a handful of podiums. Stroll will get a handful of top sixes. Yes, Ryan Tune, welcome in, mate. By all accounts, Aston Martin will have a good season. And they'll probably fight with Mercedes for third in constructors. Well, maybe even second in constructors. Depends where Ferrari end up. But Aston will have a good season. Ferrari will come on strong, I reckon. Ferrari will you know, they might clap a win towards the end of the season. Leclerc will probably end up with 8 podiums, 10 podiums. You know, he'll get a fair share. You know, Mercedes will come good second half of the season. Mercedes, I can see ending up with a couple of Grand Prix wins in the second half of the season. But you know, everybody knows, nobody's getting near Red Bull this year. Nobody's getting within 300 points of Red Bull this year. And so, if you're not a Verstappen fan, the sole hope of this season is on Sergio Perez's shoulders. And he's coming out of 2 wins already this season and a sprint race victory. So he's looking good. And I tell you what, if Sergio Perez comes to Miami this weekend and wins this one, Max is going to have to take it seriously, man. Because at the moment, Max is chilling. Max is like, well, you know, Perez has always been good round Baku. You know, I've come from behind before. Perez is always good round the street circuits. I think his words this morning were, oh, well, you know, it's about doing it week in, week out. Well, Perez has got to prove he can do it week in, week out, not just at his favourite circuits. We all know he can win round Baku. We all know he can win round Singapore. We all know he can win in Monaco. He needs to come to places like Miami and do Verstappen on a track where every man in the world has put the bottom dollar on Verstappen. That's where Perez needs to win to be taken seriously in this championship fight. The gap is only 6 points now at the top of the championship. Verstappen leads Perez by only 6 points, which in Formula 1 terms is less than the points gap between finishing first and second in a race. So, put it this way, Perez leads a Red Bull 1-2 this weekend, and Perez leads the championship going into round 6. Imola, I think it is, in a couple of weeks. Yeah. So, for Perez to take the championship lead into Imola in 2 weeks' time, then we'll have a look then. Then we'll have a look and think. So, as much as I want Fernando Alonso to dive down the inside at turn 1 and take the lead, it's epic. It's unbelievable. It's what Fernando deserves after years in the slums at McLaren with the Honda engine. It's what Fernando deserves is a good car, is what he's got. But he ain't going to fight for the championship, let's be real. Fernando Alonso is not fighting for this championship. But Alonso could be 4th in the championship, you know? Which would be a heck of a season. You know, it's going to be a 2-horse race. And I hope it is a 2-horse. Because if we have another 1-horse race season, and, you know, I had to get through the Watchalongs second half of last season when there was no hope. There was no hope, and I had to hype up about 12 races in a row where there was no hope. I don't fancy doing that again this year. I would like Perez to be in it. Yes, DB Choice, mate. How we doing? Nice to see you too, mate. Welcome to Practice 1 in Miami. And the cars are out on circuit. We're underway. Let me make sure this live timing screen is going to work. Should do. The names should move around and light up, and yeah, it's going to work. It's going to work. We're all right. We're all right. Red Bull as well with a special Miami livery this weekend. But so if you don't know, Red Bull had a little competition going. Design our livery for Miami. Livery is just a fancy word for paint job, paint scheme. Design our paint scheme for Miami. So they had a competition. So everyone's sending in, you know, fancy Photoshop designs, you know, pink and blue. Pink and blue is the general theme in Miami. Hence the thumbnails, pink and blue. But yeah, pink and blue is the theme. So design our pink and blue Red Bull. And I've seen the competition entries that were like top 5, like, oh, this was 6th, this was 5th, this was 4th, this was... They were all better than the winning entry. They've only picked the winning entry because it creates less havoc with the sponsorship logos. So the winning entry has got a little bit of pink. It's a pink stripe and a blue stripe, and that's about it. But I saw the designs that finished 3rd and 4th were mint. But they took up too much of the car, and the sponsors were probably like, that's covering our sponsor, and we're paying £100 million a season. So they've gone for a politically correct choice to create less havoc, I think. They've bottled it on the livery choice. It does look good, though. As I'm saying on the commentary now, it does look good because it's better than the standard Red Bull livery that we've seen for 20 years. Well, it's a bit different. It's something a little bit different. Apart from, 2014 when they went for the Infinity Purple on the side pods, they have had the same livery since David Coulthard's day in 2008. So it's nice to see a little bit of variation. But yeah, practice underway. And 17 cars out on circuit immediately. So only Bottas, Norris and Albon remain in the pit. So everyone out there will have 1 hour of practice now. I'm not doing FP2 tonight because I've got to be in bed because it's just on too late, and I've got work at 6:30 in the morning tomorrow morning, and I ain't staying up till midnight plus watching practice session. I need to be asleep. So yeah, I'll do FP1, but tomorrow I'll be live FP3 qualifying, and then the race Sunday night. Race is 8:30 Sunday night, so we're evening sessions this weekend. We are evening sessions. But yeah, David, Anthony Davidson in the commentary box now is saying basically what I've been saying the first 5 minutes of this stream, and that is Perez needs to win at circuits that don't favour him. Perez needs to win at a Verstappen track, you know, and then we can take it seriously. Because if Perez is just going to win the same 3 or 4 races in a year, and Verstappen's winning the other 17, bring on 2024, innit? But I tell you, bring on 2026, mate. At this point, I tell you what, mate, we are firmly slap bang in the middle of the Verstappen era, and you know, I've lived through the Vettel era. Well, no, lived through a lot of eras, but I mean, I've watched the Vettel era, I've watched the Hamilton era. This is the Verstappen era. And it's pretty peak, but it is what it is. If you're a Verstappen fan, mate, fill your boots because it might be a good few seasons. Replay on board with Verstappen then. Reigning double world champion. And yeah, goes wide in turn 1, so bit of lack of grip. But yeah, and the livery does look good actually, to be fair. You know, I'm sat here going, oh, it's the most boring one. There were other competition entries that were a bit more zany and were a bit more out there. But Red Bull have gone for a bit more of a corporate one, but it still has a bit more colour onto it. Hamilton purple sector 1 then, as Russell says he's really struggling with steering. Okay. Russell not happy with the steering as Leclerc goes only 14. So first 5 minutes, Ocon, Magnussen, Stroll top 3. Hulkenberg goes to the top by half a second. But yeah, the first 5 minutes of FP1, guys, you know, it's not. But yeah, Hamilton on the quickest lap so far then. He's going to go top by quite some margin, I think. Hamilton crosses the line then, yeah, full 1.8 seconds in Hulkenberg's Haas. Well, yeah, FP1 underway and Russell back in the pits for presumably a change of a cell change. Do you know what I saw actually on in between races, in between Azerbaijan and this? An idea, I think it might have been from, what's that guy called? Matt and Tommy, whatever. I think I've seen a suggestion from him. Now, usually, people who come up with format changes and like, oh, do this in Formula 1, or do this, oh, why don't they try this? 9 out of 10 of them ideas are a load of rubbish, and people think it's Mario Kart. It's not Mario Kart. But I have seen a suggestion during the week that I quite like, and that is the idea of mandatory 2 pit stops in every race. And I thought about that, and I thought, you know what? Yeah. 2 pit stops mandatory in every, because at the moment it's only 1. At the moment there's only 1 pit stop you got to make by the rules. You only got to do one stop. And now, so a lot of races, the tyres are good enough. The tyres last long enough that most of the time a Grand Prix is 1 pit stop. Like we saw at Baku, everyone pitted like lap 15, 18, and then went right to the end on the hard tyre. Did 35, 38 laps on the hard tyre. So it's 1 pit stop, and that's your lot, and that's it. You know, unless you're Valtteri Bottas, who did like 3 or 4 pit stops, but that's just an absolute catastrophe. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's 1 stop city, and so strategies. There's not a lot of variation in strategy when it's a 1 stop race. What are the strategy options? Oh, do we stop on lap 17 or 18? Oh, should we stop on lap 16? Oh, stop on lap 9. When you've got to then factor in a second pit stop further down the road, what tyre do you go on? It adds a hell of a lot more dimension for different strategies, and that's only a good thing in my book. So I actually back it. It was that Matt who come up with it. Matt and Tommy. I don't really know his name. The guy used to be on WTF1, but he's not anymore. He's created his own thing. But Matt, he come up with mandatory 2 stop, mate. I back it. I'm up for it. But yeah, something going on with back to the live action on circuit, and George Russell is having a brand new steering rack put in. Wow. So Russell's done a lap and got on the team radio and said, I'm not happy with this steering. And so they're replacing the entire steering rack now live. It's panic stations. Everyone's on it. All the mechanics are on it. And yeah, they're hard at work at that Mercedes of George Russell, as we see Charles Leclerc go wide off the circuit there. But carries on without issue. On board replay with Nick De Vries then. Who's this Muppet? Oh, wow. Hey, at least I'm on your screen, Aways. At least you've clicked it. I'm not on many screens this evening. So I appreciate you clicking it. I appreciate you clicking on it, Aways. Even if you're calling me a Muppet. I'd rather have someone click on the stream and call me a muppet than completely ignore the stream. So big ups, mate. I hope you're doing all right, mate. I hope you're doing all right. Hope you're doing well, mate. I think Denver's on Denvercast tonight, but I can't go on. I'm at work at 6:30 in the morning, Saturday morning, so I won't be on the piss up tonight a ways. But you get on for me, I'll sub you in, mate. You get on it, lad. Hamilton is second up in Sector 1 then. Purple, Sector 1. And no B-Spec Mercedes yet. I reckon in 2 weeks' time in Imola, we could see a drastically different Mercedes. We could see Mercedes 14B, mate. Mercedes W14 Part 2, mate, in Imola in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, I think they pretty much decided after the first qualifying session of the season in Bahrain, they were like, this ain't the one. Sainz goes quickest then on a 1:33.8. Yeah, behind if not out. Yeah, no worries, mate. You go for it. Fill your boots. But you won't be seeing me. Yeah, Hamilton, purple, first 2 sectors then. Coming up to the line. Not sure if I like the Miami track. Me too, mate. Me too. Yes, Dan, welcome in, mate. Hope you're feeling better. I know you've been a bit ill the last couple of days. Hope you are on the up. De Vries goes ninth. I know, Carl. I feel the same. I'm not convinced by this track at all. I know Formula One, they want it to be a big event, this. They want it to be Monaco, as big as Monaco. They want it to be the race. Have you seen all the teams pushing merch and all? They want this to be a jewel in the crown of the season, don't they? They want this to be a highlight of the season. I hope the race lives up to it, because last year it didn't. Last year, like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, the only thing I remember from last year's race here was Gasly crashing into Norris on a clumsy one as well. It wasn't even like oh, they've crashed. It was like what is he doing? And that was the only thing I remember. Mercedes battling for 5th or whatever it was as well. It's dead, Dan, so far. But there has only been one race, so you got to give it. You know, it's like judging a player after one game. Give him 10 games. You know what I mean? It's like calling a player a flop, and he's only done 2 games for you. We got to just. I'm open for it. We'll have a look this season. If it's another dead race on Sunday night. It ain't the one, is it? It ain't the one that Formula One think it is. It can't be as boring as Baku. Do you know, Dan, when, what's the way of saying? I thought you worked Sundays and not Saturdays. No, I work both of them, usually. But Dan comes in clutch for me and switches them sometimes so that I can do race commentary and stuff. So, big ups to Dan in chat. Dan works same place I do. But, yeah. Can't be as boring as Baku. No, it's funny you say that, Dan, right? Because when Baku first come on the calendar, it was incredible. The first 3 or 4 races we had at Baku, I think it come on the calendar in 16 or 15 or 16. The first 3 Azerbaijan Grand Prix were bangers, mate. They were like race of the season for 3 seasons in a row. There used to be a hashtag on Twitter that used to trend called thank you Baku or something, or like something like thanks Baku or something. It always used to come in clutch. Baku used to have dead seasons, and then you get to Azerbaijan Grand Prix and there'd be about 8 drivers in the wall and they'd be battling for the lead, and Lewis's headrest would be coming off, and it'd be chaos, mate. And then we've had Baku 22 and Baku 23, which have been crap. So what's happened? What has happened to Baku? Stroll 3rd, exactly. We've had Lance Stroll in Baku. We've had Lance Stroll side by side with Bottas for P2 in a Williams. You know what I mean? About 6 years ago. It used to be sick. But yeah, he went last year. Very showy. Oh, you went. You actually went to this race. There to party or watch racing. Exactly. Exactly. That sums it up, DB. That sums it up. Are you there to watch Formula One? Or are you there, to be seen there, to... I feel like a large percentage of the people that are there couldn't really give a damn, mate. Could they give a shit about this, really? Do they even know there's a practice session on right now? Like, the majority, like, some of the people that are there, they'll be in the champagne lounges and all that. And they won't even know there's a practice session on right now. They might hear some cars going round and think, what's that, Rebel? What's that noise? You're at a Grand Prix, mate. You're at a Formula One weekend, mate. You're not here to meet the shareholders and have a glass of champagne, but I imagine that is a large part of this race. But yeah, big up to yeah. Red Bull's crash. I know we had a lot of drama in back. Sit in a swimming pool. I know, to sit in a swimming pool with the back to the circuit. You know what I mean? There's people during the race sitting in a swimming pool with the back to the circuit. They don't give a damn, mate. And I'm here living and breathing every flipping turn of the wheel and every gear change. I can't afford to go to Miami. The best part of Miami last year was the grid walk. Porsche racing in Formula W. What's Formula W? The W Series. I don't think the W Series is going to last much longer. I think that's going to collapse, mate, to be honest with you. They've lost the star driver as well. She's not even in it anymore. In fact, I want to follow her career in Indy Lights, actually. Or what's it called? Indy 2 or something. She's a hell of a driver, isn't it? But yeah, anyway, Stroll goes P5. So, top 5 at the moment then. Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Sainz, Stroll. It was crazy. 4 hours north of Miami. The women were great. Well, yeah. You know, I imagine that's a big part of coming to this event. The women are great. The weather's great. The palm trees are great. But there is a race on as well. It depends what your priorities are, and you know. Whoa! Alexander Albon with the big drift coming out of the chicane. Oh, nice. Go on, Alex. But yeah, low grip. A lot of people going wide in turn 1. They're saying is there a tailwind into turn 1 because everyone seems to be outbraking themselves into 1 and going wide off the circuit onto the runoff area. But yeah, you're 4 hours north of Miami. Yeah, you're there for the racing. If you're a Formula One fan, you're there for the race, isn't it? But there'd be a lot of corporate people there, you know, and a lot of celebrities who, you know, can give a damn. But yeah, we see a replay, the Alex Albon drift, full power slide drift coming out of it. Oh, it's a beautiful one for the slow-mo camera, that. And Alexander Albon as well, rocking the golf ball helmet as well this race. A lot of drivers are bringing special edition crash helmets to the crash helmet designs this weekend on. Max found his dummy. That's the thing. If Perez starts putting the pressure on as well, you know, Max ain't gonna like it. For example, if Perez wins this weekend on merit, Max would be fuming. He'd be livid. But yeah, that is probably Max has one flaw. You can't flaw anything in his driving. He's the quickest guy out there. He's driving the quickest car out there. He's the most aggressive out there. He's the most balls to the wall. But he can throw a bit of a paddy, can't he, if it doesn't go his way. But then again, all the guys at the top are a bit like that, though. Thinking of getting a big studio one day with your favourite drivers framed up on the wall. Yeah, who's paying for it? Come on, a ways. I'll dip my PayPal in the chat, you know, and you know, crowdfund it. Oh, you know, maybe if I'm sat here another 5 years' time with a few people watching, you know, and actually make some money back out of doing this in 2045 at this rate, then maybe, you know, we'll be in a studio, won't we? We'll be like City Extra in a proper studio. But right now, no chance. Because I'm running at a massive loss doing this. A massive loss of time and money. I'll pay for it. Yeah, you go for it always. You know what I mean? I'll send you my PayPal. You pay for it, mate. We'll rig up a full studio, mate. I'll have all the drivers framed all round. You want to pay for a studio always? It's a channel that's got 300 subs. Fill your boots. But I can't guarantee you'll make back the money on that, mate. You know, have another look in 2040. See if it paid off. See if it got a few watching. But yeah. Esteban Ocon running a special edition Miami Crash Helmet as well. He comes across the line and goes P6. Albon's still there in P8. So it's I've not really concentrated on the times because they are a bit irrelevant. I mean, practice sessions is just for having a chat, really. Track will suit Nando. Every track suits Fernando Alonso. Fast corners. Away's the Obeid of F1. I need Obeid. Hey, Away's, Carl, go and get me Obeid over here. He's into F1, isn't he? Oh, you'll see Obeid in chat and my PayPal just scrolling across the top for the entire stream like that. Me just praying in the corner. I'm not even monetized, so I can't do any there's no such thing as gifted memberships around here, lad. I ain't unlocked any of that crap yet. No super chats around here, mate. One day, I haven't got his number. Hey, Jordan said to me, Jordan went, hey, he's into F1 Obeid. I went, is he? oh, is he into F1 him? I said, you know, I said, I think I know someone who does F1 watchalongs, you know, Jordan. You know, you could mention it, you know. Mate, that guy is absolutely, he spends a fortune on that channel, mate. Jordan must pray to the stars every night that guy never leaves his channel, mate. I'd be on my knees praying to the stars every night if I had Obeid in my channel, mate. It's a one-man rig up. But yes, Dougie, welcome in as well. Welcome to the stream, mate. I hope you're doing well. Replay on board with, I don't know. This is the thing with the special edition crash helmets. How do you know who's who? Until the graphic comes up on the screen. Valtteri Bottas locking the front wheels into the hairpin at the end of the back straight. I haven't seen Obeid in time. Go on, Dougie. Go on, Dougie. I think he's making his peas back. Oh well, that's it. Where after a Man City watch along, he must look at it. He must look at his outgoings and go, Oh, bloody hell, Man City won again. That's cost me another grand. You know what I mean? Man City score a goal. He's dipping like 500 quid in gifted memberships. I'm like, Jesus Christ. If City, you know what I mean? City win 4-0. It's cost him 2 grand. Oh mate, no, it's a golden egg, innit? Having something like that on the channel, it's a golden egg, mate. Yes, Farron. Welcome in, mate. Oh, at least a ways. I was in a stream. I'm not even on the F1 at the minute because they're on an ad break. But I was on a Man City stream about a week ago. I don't know what the game was, mate. At the end of the game was done. I think it was a Fulham one. You know, you won against Fulham 2-1. He slapped 150 gifted members for nothing at the end of the game, just chilling. I was just thinking, this is unfathomable money. This is. Basically, it's when money's not an issue, innit? You know what I mean? Unlimited. You might as well have unlimited money at that point. It's unlimited money, innit? Yeah, he did 200 plus. It's unbelievable, isn't it? That is, I mean, big ups, man. It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's Hulkenberg just gone quickest, and they're on an ad break, and Nico Hulkenberg's just gone top by half a second, and I can't even see it because Sky have thrown an advert break. And we've got Nico Hulkenberg on top. This is like Brazil 2010, mate. I remember Hulkenberg slapping it on pole position in the wet in a Williams. And you know what? That was his rookie season, and that's still the highlight of his career. A lap from 13 years ago is still the highlight of Nico Hulkenberg's career, sadly. Well, no, it's not. That's a load of bollocks, because he's won Le Mans. He's won Le Mans, Nico Hulkenberg. So, shut up, Rob. You don't know what you're talking about. That is not the highlight of his career. It's the highlight of his Formula 1 career. Nico Hulkenberg won Le Mans in a Porsche in about 2015. 16. I reckon he's going to hit 1,000 if we win the treble. Oh, mate, I reckon there's a good shout of that ways. I reckon it'll get to the point, right? I thought of this a ways. It'll get to the point where every single person in chat is a member, and then what happens? What happens if every single person in chat's a member, and then he drops 50 memberships? What are they like pending? I bet Jordan's thought that as well. I thought, hang on a minute, we'll have more gifted memberships than people watching the stream here in a minute. Do you know what I mean? They'll have 2,000 watching and 2,000 members, mate. It would be unbelievable settings. But big ups to them. They're anyway. This has become a City Extra stream, hasn't it? This Miami Grand Prix practice featuring chatting about Obeid's wedge. But yeah, back to the practice, and it is Hulkenberg quickest, but he's on the soft tyres. That's why Haas had gone out on the soft tyres. That explains it. Haas had gone out on the soft and gone quickest. Definitely another month that it will be, mate. At some point, most people have remembered. I know, mate. I've seen the when you go in their chat, when you go in their streams, the chat is like mostly members, isn't it? So I can get in. But yeah, Hulkenberg and Magnussen have gone first and third on the soft tyre, and now we've got Max Verstappen out there on the soft tyre. So few guys going out now for some quick runs, and the times are about to tumble, I would happily predict. Yeah, another month away. Everyone's going to remember. Hey, when I unlock memberships away, are you going to sign up or what? I do your membership aways, 10p a month. You know what I mean? It'll be another 3 seasons yet anyway, so I'll give you until 2027 to save up, and then we'll do 10p a month, yeah? So Max is on a quick lap as he goes past the fake harbour, which is just nuts. I'll take that as a podium right now. Hulkenberg, Verstappen, Magnussen, Albon P4. I'll take that. Stop the count. Hey, Max has gone green, but not purple though. Haas looking quick. Max coming down the back straight now then. And he is purple middle sector, Max Verstappen then. On the soft tyres now. Fancying some quick runs, our Red Bull. Sargent's been out on the softs as well, but it's only gone 13th. Albon looking decent. I think Albon got a couple of points here last year, if I'm not mistaken. I reckon Albon sneaked to P9 here, you know. And yeah, Verstappen goes quickest by 3.5 seconds. Hey, if Verstappen goes quickest by 3.5 seconds, this season's done. No, 3.5 tenths. Perez doesn't beat Hulkenberg. So Hulkenberg still hangs on to P2. Go on, the lad. I just got a membership from a babe for free. That's how it works, isn't it, Farron? As soon as you see that little present in the chat, mate, everyone spams the chat, don't they? Everyone's just putting dubs in chat, mate, and then hoping to get like a. I've done it, mate. Hoping to get a cheeky gifted, mate. You know what I mean? So you're gonna think about it, mate. You get memberships for free all year long, mate, if you time it right. I think I remember Dugan saying that. I think I remember Dugan saying he's got a free membership on there. Through obeyed. Absolutely coming in clutch, mate. Probably Sheikh Mansour. Imagine if it was. Oh, there's been a crash. One of the Haas. Is it Hulkenberg? Hulkenberg in the wall, and it is a red flag. So Hulkenberg gone P2, but is in the wall. Hey, they just started an interview with Christian Horner on the pit lane then, and then Hulkenberg binned it, and they went, "Yeah, we'll come back to you, Christian." Wow, so we need to see a replay of exactly what's happened. Dugan needs free membership. He's got no P. Hey, I tell you what, he works hard, does Dugan. He'd be all right, Dugan. He works nights and stuff like that. He works hard, him lad. Been taking liberties. Hey, listen, you're not the only one, Farron. I'll tell you that for a fact. You're not the only one. Anyway, we've got a replay on board of Nico Hulkenberg then. Yeah, so turn 2 and just loses the rear end. Oh, and spins around, then smashes the front right into the wall. So does a full pirouette. Yeah, ooh, just lost the rear of the car. And he's wrecked the front right. All the suspension arms and all that lot's broken. But I don't think he'd be that bad. I think he'd be out for FP2 later on tonight. I'm not doing a watch on for FP2. It's too late. But I'll be back for FP3 tomorrow evening and qualifying tomorrow night. Oh, look at the Haas with the fancy Miami spec overalls even. Palm trees on the overalls for Haas. Yeah, he does proper graft in it. But yeah, with the red flag out then, Verstappen, Hulkenberg, Perez, Magnussen, Albon top 5, right? Who had that in predictions? I'll tell you who. Slap, bang, nobody. But yeah. So Sky gonna go to ads again. Do you used to do forex trading? Yeah, I'm gonna get back into that, but my it's not been my focus the last couple of years because I had a full reset in my life, mate. I had a full rupple, mate. So forex trading's not really been at the forefront of my priorities the last couple of years, but I will get back into that. Yeah, definitely. Because I spent too many years learning all that stuff to never do it again. But yeah, I had to jack that in for a bit. But we'll be back. I'll be back on that scene. Probably next year. Probably next year I'll be back on that scene. Not too bad, no. The thing is about that game, always, is a lot of people are in it for the short term, trying to double your money in a morning, triple your money in 10 minutes. That's not how I play it, mate. I was on a long grind, mate. But yeah, not an easy game. But yeah, red flag out then from Hulkenberg binning it in the wall. And means that the session still ticks on, so the session doesn't, the time doesn't stop. Time stops for no man, but the time doesn't stop. The time will still tick down. They'll get rid of the Haas, the stricken Haas on the side of the track. They'll recover that, get that out of the way, clear up the debris, and then we'll get underway for probably 15 minutes at the end, something like that. And then I imagine some guys will go out on the soft tyres. That'll be a full-time job when you do it again. Well, hey, if that's my full-time job, then I've cracked it, mate. Even if it's just a side income, mate, it's you're doing better than even if you're making profit in that game, you're doing better than 90% of people straight away. So for it to be a full-time job, you're in the top 0.1% of people. If it's your full-time job, there ain't many. There ain't many out there. There ain't many making profit in that game. It is extremely hard. Because if it was easy, everyone would do it, wouldn't they? If it was easy, everyone would be on it. Just like if it was easy to do YouTube. If it was easy to make money on YouTube, everyone would do it. I'm a year and a half in, and I'm still another 4 years off making a penny. I'm still another at least 4 seasons off making a penny out of this, and I'll have to be live at every single race for the next 4 or 5 years to even get 10p back out of this game. So unless you blow up rapid, like Speed or something, you know, I Show Speed or something, unless you're a mad, like, crazy guy that blows up, unless you're that, you're on grind settings for years. And the Forex game is the same. You try and make quick profits on that, it'd be a quick funeral for you, mate. People like the roller coaster ride on that on that stuff, and roller coasters end with bankruptcy. But yeah, red flag, 20 minutes to go. The session's not back underway yet, so they're still obviously recovering Nico Hülkenberg's Haas. He's lost it on the exit of turn 2. Full pirouette, slammed into the wall, broke the front right suspension, and is out of the car. You should take time to make, unless you get lucky with it. You know, unless you get lucky with it and you blow up out of nowhere, you know, unless you have like a clip that goes viral or like a video that goes viral and all of a sudden like it takes off and the momentum just grabs hold, but it ain't happening for me. It's yeah. I'll review it at the end of this season. I'll review it at the end of the season. See if I do a third season. I don't know yet. I'll do this season. Next season, I don't know if it's worth doing it really. If you're gaining 50 subs a season, is it worth it? Gain about 2-3 subs a Grand Prix, so there's 20 Grand Prix, so I'll gain about 50 subscribers this season. You know, you do the maths, you're talking a decade before we hit 1,000. So yeah, at some point you have to think, is this really worth doing? But yeah, obviously they've got Hülkenberg's Haas out of the way. And the car's queuing up at the end of the pit lane then to resume the session with less than 18 minutes on the clock now. So, yeah, so we've got both Red Bulls out on the soft tyres. I think Hamilton's coming out on the mediums. Let's have a look at this then. So we're going to get a bit of a sprint finish, as it were, with people coming out on the soft tyres to set a quick time. I do like that livery on the Red Bull. Fair play. I mean, they've done something. They've done something which is more than most. I think Mercedes messed around with the livery here last season, but I don't think they've done anything this year. Look at this, Hamilton right in the slipstream of Verstappen here, heading down to turn 11. Look at this, it's like a race they're almost side by side into turn 11. Verstappen and Hamilton, the old rivalry. No, that's good. That's well, it's called a practice session, and Lewis is practicing for the race, trying to keep up with the Red Bull. Lewis still chasing Max down the back straight. I feel I'm doing commentary on a race here. Verstappen's got DRS open, Lewis hasn't. Max is trying to line it up for a quick lap, but Lewis is all over the back of him, pushing him on. And yeah, race is on between Verstappen and Hamilton. 16 minutes to go in FP1. Max has got his special edition Miami lid as well. Looks decent. But yeah, 15 minutes to go. And expect the lap times to tumble now. At the moment it's Verstappen Hülkenberg who's put it in the wall. And then Perez, Magnussen, Albon, Leclerc, Alonso, Hamilton, Ocon, Piastri, top 10. But it's all going to change because we've got some cars out there on the soft tyre. And Verstappen goes purple, sector 1. Purple, if you're new to Formula 1, you don't know the terms, purple basically means fastest of anybody. So when you hear me say he's gone purple, it means he's gone quicker than anybody. And Verstappen half a second slower. Well, he's still half a second up, but goes slower in sector 2. Not a personal best. Turn 17 hairpin for the Red Bull. And it is still a quick lap, despite the not a stellar middle sector, but crosses the line now then Verstappen and goes quicker still then at the top of the timing sheets. It's a 1 minute 30.549 for Verstappen. He's best part of a second clear of Hulkenberg and his teammate. 1.3 quicker than Magnussen. Sargent goes P9 then on the soft tyres, a 33 flat, so 2.5 seconds off the Red Bull time. Tsunoda goes P8 on the soft tyres, then a 32.6, 2.1 seconds off Verstappen's quickest time. We cut to Fernando Alonso on the soft tyre then. And Norris goes P6 on a 30, just dipped under the 32s, a second and a half off the pace. But not bad for Lando Norris. The times are going to tumble here with 13.5 minutes to go. Valtteri Bottas goes into the top 10 then, 2.3 off the pace. Zhou Guanyu goes 14th in the Alfa Romeo then, there on the soft tyre. So we are getting some quick runs now, and Alonso goes P4, only a second off the pace. Quick in sector 1 and 3, but middle sector leaving something to be desired as Ocon goes into 5th. So it's now Verstappen, Hulkenberg, Perez, Alonso, Ocon, top 5. But Verstappen in a league of his own at the front until Perez gets a... Oh, look at the notch out of the Alpine. The Alpine front wing looks interesting. So yeah, Verstappen is quickest by some margin at the moment, and near a full second over Hulkenberg. Top 3 in the pits then, obviously Hulkenberg with the broken Haas. I think they'll be alright for FP2, will Hulkenberg. I think they'll sort it out. I don't think he entirely destroyed the car. I think he's just wrecked the front right suspension. What's going on with Nick de Vries? Why is he still in the pits and 4 seconds off the pace? Weird one for Nick de Vries. Had a disaster, didn't he, in Baku? And I've rated de Vries quite highly. Obviously got a point or two on his debut in the Italian Grand Prix last year, but since then he's not really taken any headlines, has he? But I back him to come good, Nick de Vries. I hope he does come good, because he sort of missed his chance at F1 about 5 years ago. So he's sort of been given a second look at Formula One, Nick de Vries. So he's sort of fortunate to be in the position he's in, and I hope he makes the most of it. I really do hope that Nick de Vries makes the most of it. As Leclerc goes second then, on a 31 flat, some half a second off the Verstappen lap of a 30.5. So Leclerc pops up into second. Stroll goes 12th, not a fantastic lap, 32.2, a full 1.7 off the pace. Here comes Russell then, personal best, sector 1 and 2, and crosses the line now. Russell only 15th, but his ears on the medium tyres, and Hamilton and Russell, the only cars out on circuit on the medium tyre then, everyone on the soft with 10 minutes to go in FP1. We see a replay on board with Lance Stroll into turn 17 then, and just locking the front left tyre there into the hairpin. Only slightly, it's not a big drama for Stroll. You won't have flat spotted that with that, you know. Not enough for a flat spot. Felipe Drugovich in the Aston Martin garage with Pedro De La Rosa. Formula 1 99 to 2012. That's a decent career, isn't it? 99 to 12. 13, 14 year career. They get a few years out and come back, you know. But yeah, they look on in the Aston Martin garage as we see Logan Sargent as Alonso goes P3 then in the Aston Martin. A 31.2, just under 7/10 off the pace. Less than 10 minutes to go now, so we're getting some quick laps in. Logan Sargent about to start a flying lap as well. Verstappen and Perez are in the pits. But everybody else out there other than Hulkenberg, who's crashed, and Nick De Vries still in the pits. What's going on with the AlphaTauri? Sainz goes second in the Ferrari, so it's now Red Bull, Ferrari, Aston, top four. Sargent's on a quick lap, and we're on board. Helmet cam with the American. This is racing in his backyard. Yellow flag sector 3. What's going on? We're on board, Logan Sargent. Has Albon gone straight on at turn 17 or something like that? A lot of traffic here on the lap for Logan Sargent. And it shows in the middle sector, it's not even a PB. 8 minutes to go in FP1. It's Verstappen from Sainz, Leclerc and Alonso top 4 at the moment. And here comes Sargent then, out of the final flat out right-hander onto the back straight and goes P14 on the soft tyre then. Logan Sargent, the local boy. Cut to Esteban Ocon coming down the back straight. Ocon, who had a nightmare in Azerbaijan. Ocon goes to 7th. Yeah, Ocon did go through hell. You know, David Cross saying in commentary there, Ocon going through hell in Baku, and he did, man. He, pitting on the very last lap, causing chaos as well, that did. Well, it's not his fault. But yeah, replay with, Pierre Gasly nearly, he's got away with on there. Pierre Gasly lost the rear end in turn 7. Replay with Alexander Albon then. Alexander Albon with a strange incident at turn 17. Alex Albon must have almost been in the wall there at turn 17. What's he even done there? We need to see a better camera angle than that. That was a weird one from Alexander Albon there, but he's carried on along his way. He's carried on his way, but strange one. We're on board with Charles Leclerc now. 6 minutes to go. Bit of traffic down into turn 4, and you just throw it in. Turn 5, it's like Magus Beckett's at Silverstone, this. Turn 4, 5, 6, and 7. And look how long turn 8 is. Purple sector 1 for Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. 5.5 minutes to go in FP1. Wow, he's really aggressive over the curbs in the middle sector for Charles Leclerc, but he's smooth. The car is taking the curbs nicely, and now he's down the back straight. He's only a tenth off Verstappen's time in the Red Bull. little bit of porpoising going on down the back straight. Not said that, yeah. Into the turn 17 hairpin, and now it's flat out through the left-hander, through the right-hander, and across the line. Then goes P2. Only 2.5 cents, a quarter of a second to Max Verstappen. Not too bad, but obviously the track more rubbered in than when Verstappen set his quick time about 20 minutes ago. Well, about 15 minutes ago. So Leclerc with better track conditions, but still a decent lap from the Ferrari, goes P2. So it is Red Bull, Ferrari, Aston, top 4. Replay with Lewis Hamilton then. And whoa, big lock-up onto the... Big lock-up at turn 17 for Lewis. Whoa, and Sainz loses the rear end then in turn 1, is that? Whoa, Sainz with the big oversteer moment in turn 1. And yeah, that's that lap in the bin. Less than 4 minutes to go now in FP1. After a brief red flag in the middle from Nico Hülkenberg's crash. I don't know what's going on with Nick De Vries's AlphaTauri, but he's been stuck in the garage for most of the session, and he's obviously down there in P20 because of it. I don't know what's wrong with it, but he's coming off a nightmare in Baku. Nick De Vries could do with getting out on circuit, getting some laps in, but not happening at the moment. Then we see a replay of Carlos Sainz losing the rear end into turn 1. But yeah, 3 minutes to go in FP1. It's Verstappen by a quarter of a second ahead of Leclerc. Then Sainz, Alonso. Hülkenberg, interestingly, still P5. That lap on the soft tyre, still good enough for P5, even though he set it half an hour ago and then promptly crashed. That time is still stands up. Gasly P6, Perez 7th, Stroll 8th, Ocon 9th, Piastri, Oscar Piastri P10 for McLaren, 1.2 off the pace, but not a bad lap really, as Lewis Hamilton starts what will probably be his final flying lap of the session then on the soft tyres. What can Mercedes do? 18th and 19th on the timing sheets are Mercedes at the moment then, but they've only done the laps on the medium tyres, so this is the first proper representative lap then for Lewis Hamilton on the soft tyres in Miami. 2 minutes to go, and it's time to get a lap on the board. It's time to get a time to get a time on the board with 2 minutes to go. But yeah, personal best sector 1 then for Lewis, as it should be on the soft tyre. Ocon goes P7 for Alpine, so Alpine sits 6th and 7th, looking for a better weekend than Azerbaijan. As Lewis goes purple, middle sector. Okay, I back it. Let's have it. Go on then, Lewis. I dare you go top. I dare you to go top. Go on, I dare you to go top. And doors go top. Lewis Hamilton on a 130.337 goes to the top of the timing sheets. And George Russell looking quick. So George Russell goes purple middle sector as Leclerc beats Verstappen's lap as well then. But doesn't beat Hamilton's. Hamilton a 10th quicker than Leclerc then at the top. And here comes George Russell then out of the final proper corner. Flat out then through left, through the right, across the line then. George Russell goes quicker still at 30.1 with 40 seconds to go in this FP1 session. Are we going to end a session in 2023 with a Mercedes 1-2? Are Mercedes back? Probably not. It's FP1, but still, it's nice that. Yeah, the circuit, like Jensen's saying in commentary now, the circuit has improved since, if Max was to do a lap now, it's going to be a lot quicker than what I did before. But it's still, you've got to take the positives for Mercedes. But Mercedes not looking too bad then. And they're going to end the session 1-2, it looks like, unless someone improves. Alonso across the line, then he'll be 7th. Wow, the traffic in the middle sector here for George Russell's mad. Replay with Logan Sargent, is that? And yeah, Logan Sargent running off the circuit. At turn 8 going wide, just loses the rear end a little bit there. Does the American, but he's got away with it. Well, I did not expect this session to be a Mercedes 1-2. But that's what we've got. Does it mean Mercedes are going to have a strong weekend? No. Because it's FP1 and Max didn't set a lap in the last 20 minutes there to really show the Red Bull speed. But it's a positive sign anyway. It shows that Mercedes are at least looking decent. At least looking decent. What does that mean? They might be able to take the fight to Ferrari this weekend. I don't know where Aston are. Why Aston are suddenly 1.2 seconds off the pace when they were the second fastest car in the first 3 races. I don't know, but Aston will be looking for a better FP2. But yeah, Mercedes are going to top the session. Russell from Hamilton. Russell on a 1:30.1 tops the session. Hamilton second. Then we've got Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz, Gasly, Alonso, Stroll, Hülkenberg, who crashed, still in the top 10. Get in. Ocon, P10, and then Perez. Why is Perez 1.4 seconds off? I do not know the answer to that. Then Piastri, P12, Magnussen, Bottas, Albon, Norris, Zhou, Tsunoda, Sargent, and De Vries, who didn't really get many laps under his belt. For a reason I must have missed in commentary, or they didn't even notice. But yeah, Nick De Vries, 20th and last in the session, as we see some replays of people getting in each other's way, basically. A lot of traffic going on there. But yeah, that's it from me for FP1. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not doing a watch on FP2. It's just a little bit too late. And I've got work first thing Saturday morning, tomorrow morning. So I'll be back tomorrow evening for FP3. And tomorrow night for qualifying. I think it's 9 PM qualifying tomorrow night. I know it's later on. It's late on. So yeah, join me for the final practice session tomorrow evening and qualifying tomorrow night. And then the Miami Grand Prix itself on Sunday evening, 8:30. I'll be live probably from 8 o'clock onwards to do a little bit of build-up ahead of the second Miami Grand Prix. Peace out, DB. Cheers for sticking with it. I know it's only a practice session and it's a bit, it's not all the thrills and spills, is it? But I like doing the odd practice session because we can just have a bit of a chat as well. But yeah, join me tomorrow night for practice and for the rest of the weekend. Stay tuned, yeah. From about 8 PM, I reckon, 8 PM Sunday night. For the Miami Grand Prix, I hope it is better than last year's. Mercedes are looking pretty decent. They're looking like they can take the fight to Ferrari. Red Bull's an unknown. They didn't really go for the time at the end of the session there. And Aston is a big unknown as well. They're 1.2 off. But are they really 1.2 seconds off when it comes to qualifying tomorrow night? They'll probably be a little bit closer than that. But yeah, join me tomorrow night to get a clearer picture of the running order in Miami. Peace out for now, guys. Please don't forget, please do drop me a like. It does help out the channel. Hopefully I'm getting a few new people tuned in for the race on Sunday, and subscribe if you're into Formula 1. See you tomorrow night.